Dad, thank you. Not just for your testimony today, but for throughout our lives. As Dad was sitting here, I thought, how amazing that we've had this dad. All of us. So Nephi, an angel comes to Nephi and keeps asking him, "What do you desire? What do you desire? What do you desire?" And that's what he keeps getting. And I think of Dad. We know what he desired, that his kids and his grandkids would grow up and have the testimony that he has of Christ. He had a little house on Carlin Street. He was a professor. He did so many things. And yet, Dad, if you haven't read his poem that he wrote when he was 17 years old, ask your parents for it. It's called On Happiness. And it just tells you the life of this man that he led throughout his life. All of us went and picked him up at the university in Reno. Why? Because we had his car. For me, anyway. I took his car so he would walk, and it took me a while to figure that out. And when you'd pick him up, you'd see two little fingers stick out of the curtain of his office, meaning I'm on my way down, and you'd go turn the car around, and he'd be down there after his work. So many great things. And Dad, we love you so much, and we are so grateful for what we have. The ranch is an amazing thing. He didn't buy a bigger house from Carlin Street or from Keystone Avenue. He just kept putting money into the ranch so that we would have today what we have to be able to come down here. I think so many times of David Leonard Foote. I was thinking when he said it was homesteaded, you think, who came down here and said, we'll give up this 200 acres to one family? I think they really go, I'm taking this. Nobody else is getting this. We are all so blessed to have this land that the Lord and David Leonard and Wilford Darrell have blessed us with. Dad, I hope you feel from all of us a sincere love and appreciation for what you've taught us. I know you don't want to hear from me, and I'll stop, but Dad talked about trust, and I think you probably all had this. I have to tell a story to tell how Dad is. I don't know if he got it from his dad, but I went to a dance one night. Dad was the stake president. I went with a kid, and then during the dance, or by the time I got home, Dad was waiting up. It was about 11:30 or midnight, and he said, come on in, I need to talk to you for a minute. And he said, the Relief Society president from the other stake where you went to called me tonight, and she said she thought you and your friend were drunk at the dance. And I said, Dad, I danced badly, but I wasn't drunk. I don't drink. I have never drunk, Dad. You've taught us the right things. And here's a stake president, important to be, how would you feel? You know, your kids, somebody else from another stake called and said, your kid's drunk. He's embarrassing everybody over here at this stake. And Dad said, hang tight. He didn't just say, go to your room. I'll think about this. I hope you're not lying to me. He called the Relief Society president at midnight and said, I want you to know that my son is sitting here with me in my office. And he told me the truth, that he wasn't drunk. I just thought you needed to know that. It didn't matter to the Relief Society president probably, but it sure mattered to me. And he said that night, I promise you, I will never lie to you if you will never lie to me. And I said, Dad, you got a deal. And I think I never have, and I know he never has. What a great blessing to have such a great patriarch. You've had the same experience, siblings. Do you know Darrell Foote? And I've never gone, oh no, this is going to turn out badly. Every single time, said, yeah, I know him. And then a story will come of their love for him because of something that he did. We love you, Dad. Thank you so much.
There's a suggestion that I tell a story of the time my dad lied to me. When I was 14 or 15, I don't know what was wrong with me, but I just started lying. I just did. If I was going to the store, I walked everywhere. I love to walk. And I would just, if I was going to the store, I said I was going to a friend's. If I was going to a friend's, I said I was going to the store. I was a brat. And and I had, for Christmas, I got this Harvest Gold clock radio. That was my big present, and it was awesome, and I was so excited. And if I was in my room, it was on. You remember it. This big plastic thing. It was hideous. I wish I still had it. I had to study with it, sleep with it. It was on. It was my, treasured. I came home from school one day, and it was gone. And I was horrified. Thieves had broken in and stolen the only thing of value in the house, which was my clock radio. And I was looking, I asked everyone in the house, and I looked outside the window to see if we were in the basement, Elise and I, with a little window, and I looked out to see if there were footprints, was there any dirt coming in the room, anything, nothing. I couldn't see anything, and no one knew a thing. But Dad acted kind of weird, but he would never lie to me, so why would I, About 3 days later, as I remember it, I came home from school, and Dad came in casually into my room with my clock radio. Dad, are you kidding? You found my radio. Oh my gosh, where was it? I took it.
Everybody just use your hands.
What? Dad, I asked you about it. You said you didn't know anything about it. Looked me right in the eyes. How does it feel to have someone you love and trust lie to you? That was the last time I ever told a lie. Thank you, Daddy. Does anybody else want to share something? Zach, that is an awesome do. I have a scaring story. For some reason, sorry, I don't know how that's turned into me. For some reason, one of the ways that we showed love in our family was if you could really terrify the other person and and cost 2 or 3 years of their life. Dad, because I'm the oldest, I was the first one to get up to be able to go to seminary, and so Dad would come down and wake me up, and then while I was getting ready, he went upstairs and made breakfast for both of us. It was the coolest thing. And then we'd have breakfast together, and then he would take me to school, to seminary, and then he'd go on to school, and then I'd to work, and then I'd walk to school. And so, the end of the first week or so, I woke up without him. Oh, I'm awake. He's not even down here. So I got out of bed, and I piled up my pillows and lined them all up in my bed, and then I stood in the closet with a sliding door. And the second he leaned over to shake me awake, I flew out of that closet, and I'm truly surprised we still have him with us. And of course, every time you scare him, the first thing he said was, "What? You thought you scared me, didn't you?"
Dad's always pretty funny, and he's quick-witted, and we'd have dinner often on Sunday evenings at the house, and one week somebody was late, and the stew was getting cold, so somebody turned it back on to reheat, and it burned. And then the other family showed up, and all there was left was burnt stew. And so somebody ran in and said, "How are we going to fix this? I heard there's something you can do with burnt stew." And Dad said, "Yeah, don't spill it on the porcelain on the way down the toilet." We had them at our house for dinner one night, and we had cookies for dessert that Cindy had made. And the kids had all eaten and run off, and Mom and Dad and Cindy and I were visiting, and there was one left cookie on the table, on the plate, and kids were running by and playing, and we were just having a little visit. And Jessica, who was about Juliet's age, probably 3 years old, stopped and saw the one cookie left that no one had eaten. And she said, "Hey, can I have that cookie?" And Grandpa said, "No, that's Grandpa's cookie. That's his magic talking cookie." She said, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah, put it up to your ear." So she stuck the cookie up to her ear, and Grandpa said, "I'm Grandpa's cookie, don't eat me." And she looked surprised and looked around the room and then said, "I didn't hear nothing." And took off with the cookie. And Grandpa said, "You're going to have trouble with that one." So I stole her clock radio.
So Grandpa called me one day, and we were next door in my parents' house. And he said, "Hey, do you know where Will is?" And I said, "Yeah, he's out front with Luke, and they're playing." And he said, "No, he's over here in his underwear eating ice cream with Grandma." So I'm like, "What?" It was summer. It was summertime. So I tell Dane, "Do you know where Will is?" And he said, "He's out front with Luke." And I said, "No, he's next door at Grandma and Grandpa's in his underwear eating ice crean." And the kids all hear this, and they're like, "Ice cream next door!" And they all run over.
Take your pants off.
You can go in your underwear. You don't even have to be dressed. So that became a tradition. They would always go to Grandma and Grandpa's, and they would, every time they were over there, get Fig Newtons, cookies, ice cream. And so they were over there all the time, playing in the tree, getting treats, and they loved going next door and playing over there. They knew Grandma and Grandpa would always say, "Come on in, have some treats." So it was very fun.
A long time ago, before Elder Bednar told us that they were tender mercies, Mom said, when I get to the other side, I want to be on the coincidence committee. And a lot of things have happened since she's been gone that have made it very clear to me that she's probably the head of the coincidence committee at this point. But I was thinking, we don't have to wait until we get to the other side to help other people with tender mercies. At Grandma Brown's funeral, somebody said she answered a lot of prayers. I'm thankful for this family. I love you guys so much. I'm so thankful for the opportunity I had to stay with Dad. We had a really great meeting this morning with the cousins. And we all appreciate being in this family. I just want to share that every one of Dad's prayers includes his gratitude for all of us and our love for each other. And our prayers include our love for you, Dad and Mom. Little things have been happening, and I just say, thanks, Mom. If that wasn't you, pass it on. So I think it's neat that we've been taught to help answer other people's prayers by just being kind. And I think it's really great that you can be funny at the same time. Appropriately funny. Sure love you guys.
I'm an eavesdropper by nature. I listen. I go to church and I watch young families. I watch them interact in church. I watch the dad walk out with take them out as they're crying and so forth. I remember way back when I had two sons that smuggled a blown up balloon into the sacrament meeting. I have empathy for parents that have children that cause trouble in the church sacrament meeting. These two little boys, and I'm not going to mention any names, they later became mission presidents, but I'm not going to talk about that. And then right in the middle of the sacrament, now this is a sacred meeting, and we know that. It's supposed to be a sacred meeting. You know what a balloon sounds like that's blown up when you rub it? You know what it sounds like? You know what it sounds like when it pops? While they're passing the sacrament? Well, that's enough of that. Anyhow, I observe people. I love to observe people. And I'm not nosy intentionally or try to not be obviously. But I love to watch the relationships of families especially. And the interaction of children with parents is a wonderful thing. And I see this so strongly among my posterity, which I love and appreciate so much, as we see things happen in various situations and so forth. I've watched and appreciated, as I've seen you who are now in-laws to the outlaws, I guess, in our family, that are married into our family. We have been so blessed and so strengthened by all of you that have done such a wonderful thing, made such great contributions to our family and brought us the strength and better genetic makeup and the whole thing. Appreciate it. We appreciate what you are. We truly do see you as the rising generation. We see you as the leadership of the church and the country in the future. We see you as the potential for what's good in the world. We honor you, we love you, we appreciate what we see in you and what you really are. And the parents, your parents have raised you right, and we truly appreciate what we see in you and all of you. We have a lot of faith in you and expect big things, and we're sure we're going to see it. Thank you for what you are, folks.